Well, just when I thought it was safe to lay down and try to go to sleep, I realized that I really climbed out of my paranoia yesterday real good. I posted some videos in my moment of heightened awareness of my true identity and my truth as a child of God, and it was very positive and everything. And then I took it to bed last night and I laid down and well, before I did that, I turned on the radio for just a hot second, and that was, I think, where I made my mistake. And immediately the radio programmer started to recapture the paranoia, because that's kind of where it comes from, is the radio programming, the radio and the television programming. They instigate paranoia because that's their job to do. Their job is to divide us and to separate us and to use us, really, and turn us against each other and make us find reasons to objectify one another and to exploit one another. And so I turned the radio on just for a hot second, and I found myself in a struggle with the radio programmer immediately. So I hurried up and I turned it off, but it was already too late because it stimulated the paranoia again. So, so I started hearing noises again. And I was like, that's just traffic. I was just telling myself, that's just the sounds of the day. That's just traffic. That's nothing. Those are just normal people noises. And so I laid down, and the noises got worse and got stronger, and I just kept trying to write it off and tell myself, oh, those are just people noises. Those are just ordinary sounds. And I just kept trying and trying, but it kept getting more and more aggressive. And the noise is coming from an actual person. I live on the third floor, and there's three men who I call goons or goonies. They live on the first floor. So one of the goons, he's the most aggressive one, and he's the newest one to the house. He was just very aggressive, making just trying to shatter my solution that I came up with, that these noises are not directed at me and that people are not directly trying to attack me. And so I found myself engaged in a struggle with him. Eventually I couldn't win because he didn't want me to. He wanted me to fully realize that no, he's in control of my life. So that happened, and so he was pushing me around, because what they do, they really just, they want to push me around. If I'm breathing through, let's say, like, if my head is turned this way and I'm sleeping, they want me to turn this way. Like, they want to choose which hole out of my nose that I breathe out of, and what side of my face I breathe out of, and what kind of thoughts that I have while I'm laying there. They want to control my movements. If I move, if I twitch, everything. They want to control everything. So it started back up, and then so I was over on that side, and then he pushed me out of there, and so I came over this side. So then that made the people on this side mad, and there's two people on this side, so there's two goons on that side. So then they started getting mad. So then they started with their noise. They started banging on the wall, and so it was all night long with these three goons. And then I got up early in the morning, and I went to the beach again because I was like, maybe I can get some sleep at the beach. So I drove to the empty parking lot once again, and it was totally empty. It's a huge area that's just empty, and I started to hear the noises again. So I thought, well, here I am at the beach, so I should be able to, overcome it here, because this is where I overcame it in the first place, because I'm outside. And I'm like, okay, so these noises are definitely, there's nobody here. So I know that this has to be just traffic. It's just some faraway sounds that I'm hearing of traffic that couldn't be possibly directed at me, because it's just too far away. Even though I'm still having the same experience of breathing, if I'm breathing this way, then I'll hear some noises, boom, 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 and depending on my thoughts too, because it's responding to my thoughts, and it's responding to my directional breathing. And then so it just kept going, and it's a conversation. So if I respond, then they respond. It's a call and response type of thing. So then I started having thoughts, and I was going, well, this must be government. This is the government doing this because there's no people around. So who could possibly be doing it? It has to be the government. So then I was thinking about how people get group stalked and targeted by the government. And I was like, okay, this is just government. And so I just kept thinking and leading my thought process all through how it goes. And basically, what it comes down to is that this kind of treatment that I'm experiencing in my own country is Soviet kind of treatment. This is how the Soviets treated their own people. And this is how the North Korean people are treated as well. They are not allowed to think for themselves. They're not allowed to speak for themselves. They're not allowed to move freely. They don't have freedom of movement. They have checkpoints everywhere. They are so absolutely controlled by their government in their own country. And this is basically what I'm experiencing here in America. And it really creeps me out because America's not immune to totalitarianism, and I feel like if it's happening to me in my own country, that's a really big deal. So I start having these thoughts, and this is how I negotiate with the paranoia. I negotiate with it. And when I say with the paranoia, I'm really talking about with the people, because somebody's making the noise. I don't know who it is, but somebody's answering to my thoughts. And so I can calm them down for a second, but then I'll have a thought that they don't like, and so they'll respond to that again. And then, so when I was here today at the beach, a lot of my thoughts were just involuntary, and they were not right. Like, I had a thought pop up that said war is good for people. And so then there was the car next to me. They slammed their door really hard, and it just like startled me and like shattered me. And um and, and that was just one incident, but there was like three different thoughts like that just kind of flowed up through the atmosphere from my mind, because it's the world is schizophrenic, and the world is all divided against itself because of the programming, the television and radio programming that we're subjected to all our life. It's designed to, like I said, to divide us, to split our minds, and to traumatize us so that we can be easily controlled, because you're weak when you're tired, and when you're struggling with all these different things that you have to grapple with, especially if the things are not based in reality. And there's really no reason for us to be fighting, and there's really no reason for us to be divided or anything. All of that false reality wears us down and makes us tired and makes us incapable of standing up for ourselves. And that's the world that we're in. And that's also been my experience in the last 10 years. I've been worn down so badly. I don't even know if I can really perform the function that I was born to perform to any satisfactory degree. So I say that paranoia has won this day so far. It's only 10:30 in the morning, a Saturday morning, but so far paranoia and schizophrenia has won. And my thoughts are dark again, and scattered, and inappropriate, and saying the wrong things. But it's not even really the wrong things, because God is good, and all of it is fine, because I feel like I'm okay. I feel like the world is schizophrenic, and the world is the one that wants to divide me and harm me, and make and oversensitize me to things that don't matter. And that's not my problem. That's not really my problem, and that's not really my fault.